Hello everyone. I think we are having a lot of issues with network today, and we're very sorry that there's a lot of break today. But however, the happy thing is that we're having this recorded, and so we can always come back to watch this should we have any issue. Please, can everyone hear me? Can you hear me, please? If you can hear me, just say something or have a hi on the chat like this. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
But
thank
you're
you
a
so
bit
much.
faint.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. It's clearer now.
Okay, great. Sorry again, apologies that we are having these issues. It's network issues, and we really try to curb mistakes. But thank God we have this all recorded, and so we are good to go. So, like my colleague said, we had introduced the Planet Initiative, and the Parents Teach Tech is a project under the Planet Initiative where we create content and webinars that would educate parents on how to get their kids to be tech savvy early enough. So today we're going to be having three people speak about different topics that would inspire parents and how they can participate in bringing up their kids in a way that they understand technology and maybe hopefully build up a career with that. We'll also be having giving you options for we'll also be giving you options for questions and answers. If, for example, you have any questions, so we have two platforms we can use to communicate with you. You can either type on the chat section here if you're on this application. That's the GTC app. We'll see your question and we'll take your question. Or if you're watching us live on YouTube, you can also type your question on the chat section there as well. So either platforms, we're going to take your questions. Let's also say that even after the event and you possibly come back or you share this video with someone else and there's a question, we will take a question either by sending us an email, which we're going to be sharing at the end of this event, or if you drop a comment on our YouTube channel, we'll also take your questions from there as well. So we hope that you find this very interesting. And then if you have any issues hearing any of the speakers, please try and type a message. Let us know that you can hear us, and we'll work on that. And so I'm going to be introducing the first speaker. Her name is Adebola, and she is an educationist at Planet Initiative. Adebola, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I'll be handing over to you now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, welcome everybody today. Welcome to our first virtual event. I'm so happy to have everybody on board. And I hope that we get everything we need to understand about what it takes for kids to get involved in technology and how well we can participate in getting them involved. So, trying to get control of the slide here. My name is Adebola Oguyemi, and I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm also an educationist at Planet Initiative. I'm an instructor. And kids, the younger generation, the opportunity to have a good journey and to be bold and confident when they get to the future. So basically today we are going to be looking at closing the digital gap. So what role can parents play? What role can the guardians play? What role can the educational sector play? What role can an organization or we as an organization play, and people, everyone in general, play to be able to get the kids involved in technology? So I know we can relate very easily how smart kids can be. Sometimes I imagine how they can easily figure things out quickly. They are quite inquisitive, always wanting to know what's going on, and they're being able to find their way around things easily. And I think that's more of the reason why they are termed digital natives. because of their relationship with technology. They are being raised in a tech world, in a digital world. And sometimes you see that while you're still trying to find your way through your tech devices, maybe through your tablets, your laptops, or probably your system, your anything techy around you, they tend to actually come in and begin to tell you how to go about it. They actually don't really need a manual. Can we all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Monday.
All right.
Okay, good. All right. So they actually don't need a manual or a tutorial guide to actually go on with how to navigate and go through those devices. They're very quick in getting things. They actually know where to get to, how to get to your videos, how to get to your pictures. Sometimes they even know how to get to your data and then start navigating through your internet and start browsing. So it's just because of the era they are being raised, because everything around them is techy. So they're interacting with the kind of environment they are being raised in. So basically, kids are very drawn to what they can visually interact with. So I think I would term myself probably a digital native, or maybe a digital immigrant, because while growing up, I didn't have any access to technology like that, because my parents didn't really know much about tech. And phone was just coming in at that time. So basically, you could have you would have the Nokia 3310 and also the Sagem phone at that time. The old models of phone, and it was really interesting for me, because I knew I wasn't the kind of inquisitive kid that wants to know what is going on at the back end, how to check out why these things are moving. I wasn't that inquisitive, but basically I was more concerned about operating these things. I wanted to know how to move these things from year to year, and also playing the games when it was so easy for me. I could remember playing Space Impact on Nokia 3310. I don't know how many of us are very familiar with that. I could play that over and over, search for when my mom hides the phone and then go through it and then handle the phone and play the games over and over again. So basically, it's because it's something I can visually interact with, something that it looks new to me. And basically, these are things that attract kids from time to time. So their relationship is so natural with tech because of their environment. Okay, so the future jobs. 85% of jobs that will exist in 2020 haven't been invented yet. So this was an article written by the Institute for the Future and published by Dell Technologies 2018. And normally this should sound very fearful and disturbing, because where do our kids stand? A lot of them want, some want to be doctors, engineers, fashion designers, different career paths. They have different passions and all. So where do they stand? Should this make us afraid? Should this make us prepare towards the future? Or what should actually be our stance towards this? Now, Dell Technologies actually published that 85% of jobs that will be existing in 10 years, to come have not been invented yet. And I'm so sure that we also agree that a number of jobs we have today were not even available about 10 years or 15 years back. Jobs like content creator, social media content creator, social media managers, even Uber drivers, mobile app developers, software developers. Those jobs were actually extinct 15 years ago, 10 years ago. But because knowledge advances and tech is also rapidly running at a fast pace, people are trying to meet up. So new jobs are actually coming forward, and people are actually finding their way around it. Now, I think also that the educational system has a lot to do in keeping up with this particular trend, because most times it's so saddening that even after graduates comes out of the university, they tend to be stranded a bit because what they're actually expecting the job market to be is not what they're seeing it to be. They're actually prepared for something else, and then they get there, they see new jobs, new demands, and then you see running of graduates from one place to the other, trying to keep up with tech skills or trying to gain a particular skill to be able to get the job they need to move forward. And also, according to Dell Technologies, the published article by Dell Technologies, beg your pardon, they also mentioned that in 10 years to come, people won't be looking for jobs anymore. Job will start looking for people. That means the skill set to actually carry out the demands of jobs in the future will actually be high. So how do we prepare the kids to be able to meet up, to be confident, to be independent, and able to face whatever it is that the job market actually is giving out? Oh, the future proofed. The world is rapidly changing, and possibilities are limitless. We need to get the kids prepared. We need to get the kids ready to thrive in respect to the demands of the future. So getting the kids prepared right now is so important. It's so important. Recently, I was interacting basically with a young mother in the rural area here, and I was actually evangelizing tech to her. I was telling her, your kid needs to be out there. Your kids needs to have that equal opportunity with other kids outside. I was interacting more with her of how serious she should take his development, especially in the tech field. And then she was opening up to me about how well he does with devices. Whenever an appliance in the house is spoiled or damaged, he comes up and then fixes the appliance together, and then it starts working. And then these are raw talents that kids have, raw gifts that kids have that needs to be, harnessed, in order for them to be useful for themselves and useful for the environment and the nation in the future. So what are we doing to prepare them to be future-proof? Now, basically, involving your kids in technology gives them 4 basic standpoints that are actually very priceless. Now, your kids learn to critically think and solve problems. This is very, very important. Recently, I was taking some kids in coding, and I noticed that one of the young girls, has been struggling with fixing a particular code. It wasn't working. I checked it. I said, what's going on? She said she's tired. She doesn't know how to deal with this code and all that. And, I told her, you're going to sit here and sort this out. And if you don't have a solution yet, we could check it out together and solve it. The ability to stay with kids and, allow them to solve problems, to think and to solve problems is very vital and important. So they don't run from problems when it shows up. They are all, you build the skill of them. You build the skill of them providing solutions to problems when they encounter one. So basically, she tried and tried again, and I allowed her to stay on it. It got to a time she skipped the problems and then moved forward with other challenges. I had to direct her back again to sort it out, and then we sat down with it and we figured it out. I scattered the code, and then she was able to move on. So the ability for kids to think critically is very, very important. The ability for them to solve problems is very important, because all around us today, there are a lot of things that require solution. There are a lot of problems, challenges around us. And if we don't start investing and raising the younger generation right now, it's really going to tell in the future. And also, you build that collaborative skill in them. They learn to work together. Children don't have to be independent. They learn how to interact, how to bring suggestion, how to, tolerate each other, different skills. They can actually bet from working together. There will be conflict. They'll learn how to resolve conflict. They'll learn how to, lead. They'll learn how to follow, how to help, how to divide taxes, and so many things. So that collaborative skill is actually imbibed also in them. Their communication too is also enhanced, and basically all these things work together. And most importantly, their creativity. Children have a very, very wild imagination. They can just see something and they can see it in another way entirely. They are able to, write stories in their mind. able to, different things, pops up in their mind. They can mix different things together. Their imaginative power is so strong. So why not we just harness all these gifts that they have and, allow tech, bring it into the tech space, get them involved in technology in order for them to get prepared. That's for them to channel these strengths that they have into getting prepared for what is awaiting them in the future. So the digital gap, 40.1% of Nigerians live below the poverty line. 61.2% have access to the internet in Nigeria, and about 207 million people make up the total population of Nigeria. This report is according to the National Bureau of Statistics of Nigeria, 2020. 40.1%, of Nigerians live below the poverty line. So there's an imbalance with opportunity. They don't have access to information and communication technology, and you see the inability for the rural areas to actually have access to what the urban area has access to. You see the low-income families unable to have access to what the high-income families have access to. You see the developed and underdeveloped countries, having that imbalance, and also the educated and the uneducated. And basically the rural areas, you see, they are actually left far behind because most of the kids don't actually know what technology is at all. Most of them haven't seen a computer before. Most of them don't even know what a mouse is. They've never handled a mouse. So is that, and there are lots and lots of them, smart and brilliant kids here, but the opportunities they have, and they don't have equal opportunities as the kids probably in the urban areas. And even kids in the urban areas, not all of them also have this opportunity, though they can be easily exposed to opportunities like this to get access to technology. But the low-income families too are suffering at one hand, at the other hand, they don't have access to what they need to get to be able to access and make the best of technology. And also the pandemic issue, the rising of the coronavirus pandemic has really shown how far we've gone as a nation and where our lapses are and what it is we have to do. A lot of kids don't have access to tech because of a lot of factors: poverty, internet access, quite a number of things has been an embargo for kids to get access. And because of the gap, the imbalance in kids having access to technology, the imbalance in kids having access to information, rural, that geographical location has actually been a factor, rural and urban, low-income family, high-income families, developed countries and underdeveloped countries, educated and the uneducated. So these things have actually caused a gap, a major gap in the digital world. And, how possible is it for this gap to get closed? Basically, in the rural areas, we've seen that a lot of kids are withdrawn from what is actually going out there. And it's very, very important that they don't get left out from what is going. And they also have equal opportunities, equal standing with kids in the urban areas. And we have to work together in order for this, in order to be more of a bridge and to start from our immediate environment in our little capacity to make sure that these kids have the access that they need and early enough. It's very important, early enough. So the major causes, and also they also serve as implication of digital gap, is actually inaccessibility to internet service. Most places, most marginalized places, people that don't really have much opportunity, they don't actually have access to internet. Children come back from school and they can't connect to the internet. They can't even do their assignment. They don't have, some of them even learn in school and can't even grab what they've been taught, and they don't have any other option to get connected or to learn better. They have no access to resources. They have no access basically to the internet. They have no access to devices to aid their learning. A lot of kids that fall into the aspect of the ones that don't have access to the tech resources and the things that tech has to offer, a lot of them don't know what a system is. They don't know what a mouse is. They don't know how to operate a computer. And the educational system has not really been very helpful because kids are actually very rigid in their learning. We are still coming with the old traditional means. So it's just a work where everybody together, there must be a change in the system of education where learning is very flexible, where kids can be flexible with their learning, where they can learn even more than one thing and know how to initiate tech, even in their area of field and even totally with their passion. So basically, when they get to that standpoint in the future, whatever the future has to give, whatever the future has to offer, they are able to stand and take it. And the beautiful thing also is when they actually have access to all these things, when they are not left out, with all these disadvantages, as it were, they are not only going to have that job in the future, they are also going to be job creators. So basically, now digital literacy too is one of it. A lot of kids don't even know, they don't know about the skills that they need, to actually thrive. And not only the kids, even the teachers, even the parents, even the people in their immediate surroundings don't have access to the skills that will, enable them to thrive in the future. And this also has caused, I think people mentioned all this, this also can cause unequal opportunities for them. They don't even have a good standing out there. Like I mentioned, I don't know whether the network was still on at that time. I was speaking to one of the rural moms here, and I told her, your kids have to have an equal opportunity with other kids outside. They need to have an equal standing. So if they have the opportunity to get involved in tech, don't stop them. Allow them. And she was even saying their dad was going to get get tech devices for them and all that. And then I was encouraging her because it is that important. It is that important. A lot of children here have raw skills and raw talent. So what can we do to make sure that they keep up and they're able to use these things positively and to be of advantage to them and their immediate environment? And because of when all these implications, when all these courses are being sorted out, there's a solution to all these things. There's a lot of, they begin to bet a lot of innovations. Kids begin to do amazing things. They begin to fix things. They recognize problems in their communities, in their area, and they are able to create solution. Bring their creativity together, bring their collaborative skills together, bring their communicative skills together, bring their critical thinking skills together, and begin to make, provide solutions to problems that they see around them. So what's the way forward? It's our responsibility as parents, as guardians, educators, the government, as an organization to actually bridge this gap in our quest to prepare the millennials for the demands of the future. We have to join hands in a little way, in our little capacity to make sure that they have these assets. It's very important. Okay, so parents, providing digital devices for their kids to work, adequate internet access, and also effective monitoring. This is very important because most times parents actually leave kids to actually find their way over, on the phone, on the tab. They're supposed to be learning and using these things for their own good, to upgrade themselves or to get better each day. So proper monitoring, proper management, of this tech resources, proper monitoring of your kids and what they do on the internet. You have to know if they are learning. So the proper means of making sure that they are guided and they are using these resources properly is very, very important. And also digital skills, giving them access. Most schools don't know the importance of having digital skills yet. And that's very unfortunate because the world is rapidly moving. Tech is rapidly advancing. You see predictions that in 10 years to come, 15 years to come, robotics are going to be in vogue, artificial intelligence, basically, virtual reality, augmented reality, a lot of things are going to be in vogue. So how are they going to cope? They need to be ready. So digital skills is very, very, very important for the kids to actually thrive in the future. So when you see probably that the kids don't have access to this at home, in school rather, you can provide these resources, this skill set for them at home by probably enrolling them online. There are a lot of resources online for them to learn, and also to probably hire a teacher who is actually proficient in technology to actually take them and lead them and guide them in the way. Educators also need to have access to technological resources. This is very, very important for the schools and the educational system to advance from the traditional means of that our parents have come from, that most of us, came from, and then stepping forward. We can't remain stagnant. We can't be lagging behind anymore. We have to move forward. So providing technological resources, providing digital literacy for teachers, this is very important. It shouldn't be a one-man thing. Every teacher should be literate when it comes to digital skills at one level or the other. And also providing teachers training, yes, and technical support also for the teachers, when they need it. And basically parents being involved in their kids' progress as relating this area. And also for the government to implement technology in the curriculum, very important. Technology has to be one of the important topics in the subjects, in the curriculum. It is very important. As important as mathematics is, tech is also important. Affordable internet access and ICT infrastructure is also so important. So these are basic things that we need to begin to bridge and close this unnecessary gap. Also, IT organizations creating awareness and creating also free digital training, availability of technological devices, and also access to the internet. So it's actually a joint work. So basically at Pranet Initiative, our aim is to build a digitalized Africa by creating a sustainable space for information, empowerment, education, and connection with the aid of technology. We are running two important projects right now, the Parent Teach Tech project and the Tech We Can Charter. At the Parent Teach Tech project, what we do is we educate parents on the importance of technology for their kids, how their kids can get involved in tech early enough, how their kids can get involved in tech early enough. And also we provide a lot of resources online on our social media platforms, which we'll be sharing with you shortly, our social media platforms, on how flexible and vast tech can be and how their kids can actually still participate in the technological space, no matter their passion, no matter their field of influence, no matter their interest, they can still be part of the tech world. A lot of parents mention that my child loves football, my child loves arts. I know, just to educate parents that tech can penetrate into any field and get them ready for the future. Also, Pranet Initiative is working with the Tech We Can Charter with the aim to tackle the root cause of this same digital gap at a societal level by also inspiring and educating young kids, yes, especially young girls, to get into the tech career, whatever field it is that they want to get into, and also share these best practices across whatever organization they get to find themselves. They have a lot of platforms on the Tech We Can Chat. They have tech for fun, tech for engineering, tech for medicine, how to initiate technology into whatever career field there is. And I think we'll be connecting to Becky Patel. She's going to be telling us more about what Tech We Can is all about.
Hi, my name is Becky Patel and I'm a teacher from England and the United Kingdom. I work for the Tech She Can Charter. Tech She Can is a group of over 160 companies and organisations who are working together to try and increase the diversity of people who work in the technology industry. In particular, Tech She Can's main aim is to encourage more women into the technology sector. We are delighted that Pranet Initiative are one of our new signatories to the Tech She Can Charter. We are especially happy that they are bringing Tech She Can and everything we have to offer to Africa. One of the ways Tech We Can is working towards increasing diversity in the technology sector is through education. We have developed the Tech We Can lesson plans. They are called Tech We Can rather than Tech She Can, as we wanted to inspire more girls without alienating any of the boys. Tech We Can is for both boys and girls, and they are aimed at children who are 10 to 13 years old, but they have been successfully delivered for slightly younger and slightly older children also. At the moment, Tech We Can consists of 12 completely free lesson plans, all online. Each lesson plan is around a different theme in technology. So we have themes like Tech for Fun, or Tech for Safety and Security, or Tech for Manufacturing and Engineering. The aim of each lesson plan is to show the children how technology is rapidly advancing in that area of technology, and also what kind of careers they could go into using that type of tech. Children that we teach may have a passion for something like sport or music or drama. We want to show them how their current passions could lead them into a career in technology when they are older. Each of the lesson plans are available to both teachers and parents. They are a full lesson plan accompanied by a PowerPoint with all the links, and also, if you need it, a 10-minute video of me explaining how I would deliver the lesson, in the hope that anyone is a little bit unsure or not confident can use that video to deliver it to children in their care. Each lesson plan also contains role model videos, the majority of which are women. We want the children to see people in the role model videos who they relate to and who they can inspire to be like. When we started creating and delivering the Tech We Can lesson plans to students in school and at home, we quickly realised that their tech availability was really varied. Some children had a one-on-one iPad in their classes and at home. Some children just had laptops. Some children just had their phone, and some had none at all. So we wanted our lesson plans to be accessible to as many students as possible. With that in mind, we created 3 different versions of the lesson plans. We have full tech lesson plans. They are for any students and teachers who have access to iPads, tablets or phones that have been purchased in the last 3 years. This is because the full tech lesson plans contain augmented reality apps, so you need a newer purchased phone or tablet for that technology to be able to work. We then have our mid-tech lesson plans. These are for people that have tablets, phones or iPads, but they may be a little bit older than 3 years, so therefore the augmented reality apps won't work on them, but all of the other apps and things that we suggest will. Then we have low-tech lesson plans. These are for children, teachers and students who don't have any access to a tablet or a phone or anything like that, but they will still need access to the internet. So hopefully by creating those 3-tiered levels, we can accommodate as many children as possible. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we realised that students may not be in school as schools may be closed and they may not have access to the Tech We Can resources. So we created Tech We Can Tuesdays. Tech We Can Tuesdays are webcasts which go live at 10:30 every Tuesday British time. They are 20 to 30-minute lessons, all based around one of the Tech We Can themes, in which myself and another teacher called Katie tell the children all about how tech is advancing in that area and the kind of careers they could have. We also end every session setting the children a challenge, which usually takes them an hour or so after the lesson. They share all of their work with us using the hashtag #TechWeCan on social media, or they email it to us. And we then start the following lesson the next week with some of their fabulous examples. We realise that people may not be able to join us at 10:30 live every Tuesday British time. So all of the Tech We Can Tuesday lessons are available on demand on the Tech Tuesday tab on techwecan.org. Under that tab, you will find registrations for following lessons, as well as all of the previous lessons recording and the PowerPoint and resources. We have been delighted with the response to Tech We Can so far. We are only in our 2nd week and we've had over 1,000 households worldwide access the Tech We Can Tuesday live lessons. The world of work is rapidly changing as technology is advancing rapidly. The jobs that the children that we have in our care right now who are 10 to 13 years old, their jobs may not even exist yet. So we need to broaden the horizons of the kind of things that are out there for them and how technology can play a part in that. So please head over to techwecan.org and have a look at all of the resources that are available for you, whether you're a teacher or a parent. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll be talking about your kids you can code. So this is the talk by me, myself. My name is Okwenepo. Firstly, this talk is done by me, and you can follow me on different social media with social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Coder of Lagos. So my mission is to explore technology. I'm an IBM champion. This is my introduction here. This slide is my introduction here. I'm an IBM champion. I'm a 14-year-old developer. I'm an IBM champion, a developer advocate, an international keynote speaker, an IBM multi-programmer. I love contributing to different open source communities. I love contributing to different tech communities. And I'm also a YouTuber and AI enthusiast. I'm the youngest Jamstack and IBM Watson developer. And I do different things with tech. That's my mission, exploring technology better. Yeah, so I love technology, and I'll just be sharing my experience with you. Just something like I'll be sharing my experience, and I'll be giving you some tips or guidelines on what you should do when you are learning different technologies, like what your kids should do when they are learning different technologies. So this is the opening quote. The misconceptions of different technologies are from movies. They are basically from movies. We have a lot of movies there that we watch, and those movies are in form of misconceptions about AI. They are in form of misconceptions about AI, in form of robotics and different things. And so, due to these misconceptions or bias, people won't even love to get into technology and sort of that. So I think this is the best opening quote for this type of session. The misconception of technologies are from movies, because kids like we people like we kids, we love watching lots of movies, and while watching these movies, we notice that there are some sort of misconceptions. There are some sort of things that can actually cause some misconceptions with different technologies like AI. So due to these misconceptions, people even want to get this technology. Like people won't get to know AI, they won't want to get to know AI and different technologies. So I think that's one. Yeah, so these are the key things your children need to know when they are getting into technology, like different technologies like AI or even coding itself. So firstly, like I said earlier, don't believe in the misconceptions while learning how to create or that while learning how to get into a new technology. Like getting into a new technology should be the best thing ever. Like you should be surprised about getting into a new technology. You should not, if you want to get into a new technology, you don't need to have bias, misconceptions, or anything. You just start off with a free and open mind. So I think that's one. Then next, you can use platforms like Udemy, we have Udacity, Udemy, we have EDX, we have IBM Cognitive Class, we have Coursera, we have Allison, we have different platforms like that. So my first platform I used to learn a new technology, and I think that was Visual Basic. So I used Allison to learn Visual Basic back then. Then while learning, I was working on side projects so that if I'm encountering any problem with my main project, I can actually bring some codes into my for my side projects to the main project I'm trying to learn. So that's one of the things that's one of the things I did while I was learning how to code. So I think that's one of the things you should advise your children to do while learning how to code, while learning a new technology. So you need to start with something simpler. Like I said earlier, I started with Visual Basic. Visual Basic is a very very simple language. You just start off with creating software applications, and those software applications, creating them is like just creating side projects like calculator, and a calculator is not a very very complex project to create. You can start off with creating a calculator, you can start off with creating a text editor and all that. So I think that starting with something simpler can actually help you while moving into a new technology. Yeah, so that's what I said earlier. I'm going to be um introducing me you sorry I'm going to be introducing you all to my success as a software developer. So I got my first laptop at the age of 5. When I got my first laptop at the age of 5, I started with gaming. So I used to love games, and I was a tech lover. I used to love these things. So getting your children, your foundation matters a lot. Like getting your children into this thing, like getting your children into technology, like into different things about technology should be the best thing to do. Yeah, so I started off as a gamer. I used to love games back then, and that's what made me curious about technology. Then next, I moved into my coding research at the age of 10 when I started making some research about different technologies and different technologies like gaming and all that. So I started with Visual Basic, then HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all that. So I started learning Visual Basic at the age of 11. I started learning Visual Basic at the age of 11. So at the age of 11, I started Visual Basic back then. So I used to, like I said, I used to work on side projects. Then later, I moved into web development with ASP.NET. I moved into HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I moved into PHP. I moved into Python. I moved into different frameworks also. I moved into Bootstrap. I moved into different things. Then later I moved into backend development with PHP, MySQL, and all that. Then I launched my first project, which was a blog, a tech blog, where I used to share tech news. Then later I got my first award, which was virtual. Then I had my first keynote session, and I became an IBM champion for 2020. Early this year, around January. That's one. I think this is a sort of lightning talk, so I won't be sharing more. It's not a deep talk about it's not a very very deep talk. So I think it's sort of lightning talk, which can take about 15 minutes or so. So these are my the coding stats. Like people who got into coding in these years, like we have 2005, 2009, 2015, 2020. Looking at the statistics or stats of the people who have gotten themselves into coding, like it's very very surprising. We can see 2005 they are sort of low. Like we have 2005 which are sort of low. We have 2009. Then I think it kept growing. It kept growing. Then 2015, then 2020. I think 2020 is the main part we need to focus on. Like if we can see 2020, we can see 2025 also. Like 2025, more people would even want to get into coding because we can see different companies like Tesla, Microsoft that people even love. Like children are in love with Microsoft mostly because of what they can see about Microsoft and Apple also. So we know children love these tech companies. So I think getting them involved into tech is one of the best things to do. Then I think thank you Planet Initiative for having me here. You can reach out to me on all social media platforms like I said earlier. You can reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn at Cora of the Eagles, or even Facebook. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Okpeme, thank you for that. If you have any questions for him, you can reach him on those platforms he has mentioned. However, we're trying to keep this as short as possible, if possible, lesser than an hour.